My name is Mac Attkisson. I engineer and produce music.
Right on.
Here recently, I've also got into the business of finding and developing talent and owning studios, running studios.
That's fantastic.
Fun world.
Yeah, no kidding. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got interested in this sort of profession.
In music?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't say I got interested in music. I've just kind of always been drawn to music. Like, music's always been, the biggest thing in life. From just listening to music when I was young to, to DJing starting out to, finding ways in and out of the studio when I was, in junior high and high school, working on music. I mean, it's just always been one of those things that it's just there never really was anything else. It was just always music. So, I mean, I've drawn to all parts of music, but it's just kind of, music is life.
Sure. Let's let's talk about the music landscape as you see it right now.
The music landscape, the current landscape of music. The game has changed. It's definitely not the same way it was 15, 20 years ago, or even 10 years ago. Social media and the internet, have really kind of brought the world, to everybody's doorstep. So, you have the ability to get your music out to the world now. And you have all the tools at your disposal with technology to be able to record and produce and write, the best quality songs, ever in history, in your bedroom, which is amazing, but it leaves it up to the individual to do all of that, because now, nobody, the record labels, the major industry, they're not looking to kind of fund all that. You've got to have, you've got to do it yourself. You have the ability to do it yourself now, and you have to. There's no other options.
Right. I mean, that's kind of what I've been looking at too. Do you find that sort of perspective makes it less profitable, more profitable at all anymore?
It's definitely changed. It's different. It's still profitable, but it's profitable in different ways. I mean, there used to be, large amounts of money made off of, record sales, and there's just not anymore. There's less sales, and then there's less money off the sales because of, the way that they're, the way they're all distributed. But there's still lots of income streams that you can find, if you're really trying to do music. It's all about self-promotion and kind of selling yourself these days, as far as, because the main income that you're going to find is going to be off of touring and off of endorsements, so trying to find sponsorships and trying to find, people that want you to promote their product or their club or their show or their venue, and really marketing yourself, and if you're successful at marketing yourself and you can generate that income, then sure, there's tons of money that can still be made off of there.
Right,
It's different, and it's much more difficult, and it's much more up to the individual, or the individual and the team that they put in place.
Right.
But yeah, it's still possible. It's changed. It's different, and the numbers might not be as big, and the sales might not be as big, but you can still make a ton of money off of music for sure.
Sure. I think, yeah, one of the things that we were noticing too is the fact that with touring and with the coming and going of concert and venue, all the money's made off of the T-shirts and the things that are basically not even part of the music. They're all made off of the concessions to relive that experience that they got from going to that venue.
Yeah, merchandise is huge, and that's something that a lot of artists don't do. They'll even book shows and go out to places and just don't realize how much money they're missing out on. Selling T-shirts, because fans are fans. They want to buy T-shirts. They want to buy hats. They want to buy something like you said to remember the night, or just to support, or stickers to put on their car, or whatever it is. T-shirts to wear. So they want to support. If they're fans and they're coming out to your show, then give them the opportunity. And if you're not giving them the opportunity, somebody else is, and you're just missing out.
Right. That's so unbelievably true. Is that commerce is going to happen regardless of whether or not the artists are part of that commerce or not. It's going to take place.
Yeah, it's going to happen, and if you're not in control of it, somebody else will be.
Do you think that technology in general has helped or hurt the music industry?
It's definitely helped it. Technology is great. It's given us endless possibilities and made things that just were impossible possible, as far as with what we can do with editing and I mean, hell, even auto-tune. The fact that the singers don't need to be the the greatest singers these days. I mean, let's face it. It's all about kind of it's about talent, and it's about songs, but it's the technology has given us the ability to kind of forego certain aspects of it. But I mean, so I think it maybe have slightly hurt it in that aspect, but overall, technology is great for music. The fact that anybody can get a laptop and a microphone and record something in their bedroom or their living room that is going to sound amazing, and they can put it out to the world on their computer, and have billions of people listen to it.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty incredible. So I love technology. I'm all for it. It's all about how we use it, and taking advantage of it and making the most out of it.
Do you think that the industry or this industry itself is headed in the right direction?
Is it heading in the right direction? I mean, what is the right direction? It's changed so much that the fact that it's still growing and music is still is still big and still popular. I mean, music is one of the the biggest forms of media on the planet, and I don't think it's ever going anywhere. And the fact that the industry has kind of shifted to where, instead of trying to fight all the technology and the the internet and the things that it brought on, and kind of trying to embrace it, and with iPhones and technology being so mobile and music being so accessible to everyone, I think it's I mean, I think that's I think it's great.
I just continue to keep reading questions out here. There's nobody else texting me. But that's my cue card.
No,
I
it's
think
no
that
problem.
one of the things I wanted to mention too is the fact that you've had a chance to talk to Don, the CEO of the company, about a product and a platform that is coming forward. Do you think that this would be something that you would? Do you find this useful? This sort of tool?
Yeah, I mean, I think as a tool, it's very useful. Because it when I was talking about it's down to the individual, this gives the individual, an amazing amount of control over every aspect of, their music or their films or whatever media it is that they're working on. Because it gives you access to, the networking. You get control over, the income streams off advertising. You're able to see the breakdown of where everything comes from. You're able to, I mean, some of the features that it gives you, I think, are really great. To have all in one location, at no cost to the person, to just be able to come on and log on and use and take advantage of.
Right. I was just thinking of that too. As you were talking about that, and we talked about creating T-shirts. Like
Yeah.
the ability to go ahead and find a visual graphic artist to help you create a T-shirt. How amazing.
Well, I mean, it's funny. So many. I can't tell you how many times I get questions from everybody. Hey man, I'm working on a project. How can I get CDs printed up? Or I'm trying to have some T-shirts made. How can I have T-shirts made up? How can I do this? How can I book shows? Where do I go to book shows? Looking for all this information and being able to just direct them to a place where they can learn about the information, and then have all the resources local and national and international at their fingertips. I think it's great.
How do you think Indie Build is going to affect the music in a positive way?
I mean, it just goes back to giving the individual all of that power and all of that control.
Sure.
I mean, because it's all based on the individual these days, and the more control that they can consolidate over their project, the better. And having it all in one place on Indie Build is, I mean, it's a great start. Again, it comes down to the individual and what they do with it, and what they're able to take those resources and make happen out of them. But having it all in one location, it's a great tool.
Do you think that there may be any other sort of platform other than Indie Build that would come close to the sort of site for the cost or the lack of cost there?
No, I mean, it's not with all of the different features that it incorporates together, and then the fact that it doesn't cost anything. I'm not really aware of anything. I mean, you could spend a lot of time and a lot of money to come up with all of those resources on your own, but being able to access it all for free is in one spot. No, I'm not aware of anything that's doing that.
I saw this first, and I thought Indie Build was going to be like, I can't believe that this actually has never really even been developed yet.
Yeah.
And then the more that that we went through it, the more incredible that this sort of thing just kept getting. So do you think that when this goes live, do you think that Indie Build is something that you might want to to tell people about it? And talk
Yeah,
to
I mean,
people?
I would definitely will. I mean, after talking with the the guys that came up with it and learning a lot about it, it's definitely something that I'll spread around to all the people I know, trying to get them to take advantage of it. Both artists, producers, writers, everybody.
So, and this is my last question. Do you think that indie build is something that the industry needs right now?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's again because it's the industry's changed so much, and nobody, there's no artist development anymore. There's no big promotion companies out there for the individual. Those are out there, for the big artists, but for the individual, that wants to put their music out there and has access to fans, it's just there's been nothing out there that'll allow that, and this this coming along, you know I think it's great, and I think it could help change the game for the better, maybe.
Thanks, Mac, for taking the time for going through this. I know it's kind of late in the evening, but I'm really glad we got a chance to talk to you. And